and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 5 of the Easter Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a brand new Easter-themed Cricut craft project every day for 10 days. Today's project is a layered design, which has quite a few layers in it, but is definitely worth it to make up this adorable little Easter bunny peeking out through all of the flowers. Let's see where to get the SVG and how to download him. If you haven't already registered your free ticket for the Easter Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/Easter to do so. Click any of the sign up buttons on the page and enter your name and email to register. Once registered, check your inbox for an email from me with subject line Easter Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down the page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out craftwithsarah.com/Easter bundle to purchase immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Easter Craft Countdown. Each file will also be available to purchase individually from my SVG shop once the free version has expired. All downloads come in zip folders. You need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space, go into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then the file to choose is the one which starts SVG in the file name. Let's click and drag that in, and it should look like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see all the layers next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, click Cancel down on the bottom right, try again, and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. This is looking good. Press Upload, and then it will appear in your recent uploads. So you can click it to get the green border, and then press Add to Canvas. Here's how it loads in, and you can see all of the layers down this right-hand side. There are a lot of pieces in this design, but don't worry, it's actually fairly quick to cut out because there isn't anything particularly intricate in there. It's all nice sort of simple shapes, which means it's quick to cut, which is always good when there is so much going on in a design. To resize the design, click on it. Make sure the padlock at the top is closed. If yours is open, then click it to close it. You might need to click it twice, but it should eventually close. And then you can change either the width or the height, and the other measurement will change in proportion. For example, if I made this 9 inches and pressed Enter on my keyboard, the height changes in proportion. However, I'm actually going to stick with how it loaded in and do 7 inches wide. I think that would be a lovely size to cut it out at. And then there's nothing else I'm actually going to do here. I'm going to just go straight on and click Make It. This will separate out all of the different colours. You can change the paper size in this drop down. And then if you want to, you can move things about by clicking and dragging. And this can be a nice way to use up less space on your cardstock. And then it means you've got more of it to play with another day. Make sure nothing overlaps when you're doing this. So for example, I wouldn't want to do that because then it's not going to cut out properly because the flower is going to cut itself out from the bunny shape. You do need to do that for every single colour, so I'm going to go through and work through them all. This is a great design for using up your scraps of cardstock because a lot of the colours, as you can see, only need a teeny tiny amount. So I'm definitely going to be going through my scrap folder and using up some of those pieces. When you're happy with how everything's looking in Design Space, press Continue to connect to your Cricut machine, get everything cut out from cardstock, and then I'll show you how to stick it all together. Here are all of the layers of my adorable little Easter bunny, all cut out and ready to be stuck together. I've laid everything one on top of the other to check that I'm happy with all the colours and that I haven't missed anything out. I'm going to be sticking him together with a combination of glue and 3D foam squares. The glue I like to use is called Collall. It's great because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like some glues can do. And then I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles with very, very thin nozzles on them to make it easy to get the glue in all the little pieces of cardstock. The foam squares I'm using are from Dot and Dab, and mine are quite small. If yours are big, that's absolutely fine. You just might need to cut them smaller with a pair of scissors to get them in some of these gaps. We're going to start at the bottom and work upwards. I'm going to move all the pieces apart, being careful to try and keep them in some sort of order, seeing as I've already gone to all the effort of putting things in their right places. Let's try move all that off together. And his little face. I'm now left with the very bottom two layers, which are these two, and these are going to be glued together because that bottom pink is only really there to show the detail in the ears and the eyebrows. My cardstock tore a little bit on my Cricut here, which you can probably see. It's a little bit crinkled, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to have other layers on top of it, so you're not actually going to see that when it's stuck together. Right, grab my glue, and I'm going to put quite a lot on because this is going to have all the other layers stuck on top of it. So I want to make sure it's really well glued to that base. The nice thing about the glue is you do have a bit of wiggle room if you don't quite stick it on perfectly first go round. Lining that up. And push down, and there we go. The next layer is this one, the biggest layer of the green, and this will also be a glue layer. And that's because there's just so much in the front of this one that I'm going to glue this one, but then we'll foam the rest of them. Don't know why I did the left side of it first. Now I have to sort of contort my arm to stick the rest of it. Line this up along the bottom and stick down. Next we have this one, the green one here, and this will be our first foam square layer. I'll turn it upside down and grab my foam. I'm going to try and put my little foam squares in all of these kind of sticky out bits of the grass so it gets a really good firm stick. But as well as doing this, I also need to put some in the middle because if there was nothing in the middle, it's not going to be very stable and the cardstock might bend downwards on itself, which would not look good. So a few little bits of foam in the middle prevent that from happening. Oh, I can just about fit my foam squares in these little circles, so I'm going to do that. There, that should be enough. Maybe one more. I'd rather put too many than not enough. Now I can peel the tops off to reveal all of the stickiness underneath. Right, now this can be stuck on. You can use the bottom to line it up, but also the tops along here. It doesn't quite meet all of the sides and the top because this one's a bit smaller. So there we are. Next is the other big layer of green. So I'm going to be very careful at moving these flowers apart. And this one will also be a foam square layer. So let's turn it upside down and add some more foam. This one also has some little bits at the bottom you can line it up with, but also where these two tops of the flowers are. There we go, there's that one all sorted. Next is the final green layer. And let's have a think. I'm going to glue this one because it's going to have all the flowers foamed on top. So I think this one can get away with gluing it. And actually glue is going to be much easier because of that little swirl, which is quite narrow. And just trying to work this one out. There we go. You can line it up along the flowers, she says, after almost failing at that, but I got there in the end. I'll build up the face of the bunny next, I think, before we get too deeper with the front, too much deeper. This is quite a few pieces. Need to make sure we get them in order. So, okay. Right, we'll start by gluing the little pink cheeks onto the very bottom white layer, which makes up the face. They're quite small, so be careful. There. Then next we've got the blacks of the eyes. These are all going to be glued. Then we have the darker pink circle. I'm going to turn my little nose piece upside down and glue this to the back so that it covers up the nose and the mouth. And that way the pink is going to show through those gaps. If I turn it around, you can see that's now got a little pink nose. Now for this one, it's up to you if you want to foam it or glue it. It depends how deep you want the bunny's nose to come out. I'm going to foam it. Oh, that glue wasn't dry. And then this sits on top of the black piece. Like that. And then I'm going to glue the whole thing to the top, and it goes in so that it's just above the very tips of those green leaves. Wiggled my layers about a little bit. I should have waited for it to dry a little bit more. Never mind. Tuck that in there. And I love how much he comes to life with his little face. He's really cute. Yeah. Now we can move on to the flowers. I'll start with the top left one, which is this tulip. Here we go. This is, again, got quite a few layers to it. Start with the biggest one, and this one I'll glue on. Next is the paler colour piece, and this one I use my foam squares for. Then there's the top petal, and I'll glue this one. The last little piece is the bunny paw to go on top. And this will be a foam square layer, just one teeny tiny piece. And then stick that on to look like he's holding the flower. Just peeling it back. from the leaves so that he can poke his head through. Alright, next let's do this middle one, our daisy. The first layer is the solid layer, and this one will be a foam square layer. Make sure you get it the right way up. It should line up exactly with what you can see on the green underneath. And then the flower on top will be glued. I was just making sure I had that the right way round. There we go. Okay, top tulip on the right hand side. This one's slightly different to the other one, but it's still 3 layers and then the paw. And the bottom one will be a glue layer. The next one is the darker coloured layer, and this one I will foam. Then the final petal layer on top will be glued. Now we're left with the bunny's paw, which will be foamed so it matches the other side. Using one of my fingers to hold the top of the flower in place because that glue's still a little bit wet. There we are now, 2 left, and the bottom layer for each of these will be a foam square layer. This one might be a little tricky to line up. Let's see. If you're not sure exactly where it's going, then look at it in Design Space to see what way round it should go. But you can just about tell from the shapes that's on that green bit underneath. And I'm going to glue the little middle on top. And this one, it actually doesn't matter what way round you put it, so don't worry too much about that one. It just goes in the middle. One last flower, got this one here. Foam the bottom piece. And this one's easy to see where it goes. There. And then glue that bit on top. I think that's the right way round. Yeah. Again, it doesn't matter too much. It's a bit of an abstract shape, so however you want to put it is fine. There. And if you wanted to, you could leave your bunny as he is now, but I'm going to add the little ladybird to his ear. Oop! First I'm going to throw all the bits everywhere. The bottom layer is the white one to make his little white spots, and this will be foamed. There. And then we've got the black layer, which will be a glue layer. And finally the red layer, which is another glue layer. Be careful on this one as it's very, very narrow around all of these ladybird spots. Then I can just place him on there. Perfect. So here is my little peeking Easter bunny, peeking through the flowers. He's got loads and loads of layers in him. I'm really, really happy with this. I think it's beautiful and perfect for spring. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this cute little Easter bunny layered paper craft. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and free SVGs. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 6 of the Easter craft countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!